Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today's video is Vlogtober week 4. Can't believe it's almost over. So starting the day off with some cuddle time with Marley, as always. I feel like I start and end the day cuddling with Marley, which is not a bad way to start or end your day. But we were actually home alone. John was away taking care of some dogs at this time, so I got up and I wanted to do a bunch of cleaning that day, so I just got started right away. Changed the sheets in John's room. Was cleaning with this apple cider. It's like my favorite fall scent for cleaning. And I had washed his sheets and dried them, but I didn't fold them, so I was getting that done. And then I did all the floors upstairs. I love when like the whole house is just perfectly clean. And I had ordered these Amazon version of the Swiffer, I think that's what they're called. And to be honest, I like these better than the Swiffer ones. They're quite a bit cheaper too, so which is why I wanted to try them, but they have this strip on them. It's really good for scrubbing, so I think, and the Swiffer ones that we have, John just bought the ones that they have, but they smell like Gain detergent, and I find it super strong. So I'm never buying that kind again, but I think the Amazon ones work great. So had some towels to fold, and then I wanted to dye my hair. I usually use this different kind of dye that's pretty expensive, that's vegan. But it's not permanent, so it doesn't last that long. But I've noticed that this stuff is now vegan, which is really cool. I used to use this a long time ago, so I thought I would give it a try, see how I liked it, and I liked it a lot. And it was less than half the cost of the dye that I usually use, so that was kind of nice, and it's permanent, so I'm not going to have to dye my hair as much. So I was quite happy with that. It came with this little extra thing that you put in. It's like little thing of oil. So I was confused about that because this looks very different than the dye that I typically use. John had bowling that evening, so he came over on his way to bowling. And Marley was very excited to see him. She's so cute. She loves that white blanket. As soon as he sits down and he puts that white blanket on his lap, she runs over. So it's very cute. So it was the next day, and it was garbage day that day, so I had to put the garbage out. Usually John does that. So I started to make my coffee. I've been loving this candy cane coffee. I think it was the first time I had it, but I mixed it with a couple tablespoons of this mint hot chocolate. So I got that started while John was here the evening before. He had brought the bags upstairs because the one is quite heavy, so it's hard for me to carry it. So he brought them upstairs and just left them here by the front door so that it would be easier for me to get them out. And when I opened the door, I could feel that like really cool air that, you know, lets me know winter's coming, and it was just so different. I feel like it went from being super hot in the summer to almost winter. Really almost like within like a couple weeks. So, but I really like winter, so I didn't mind. John had also bought this CD tower. He actually used to have the exact same one before, so when I saw it, I was like, oh, you should get that. So he had brought it over the night before when he was there, and we actually just cleaned it, and we put all of his CDs in alphabetical order, and it's actually almost full, and it holds 200 CDs. He's been collecting CDs over the past couple of years, so this is my first time trying it, and it is so good. I'm so addicted to it. It's not even Halloween yet, and I've been drinking candy cane coffee almost every day since this day. So I had sold an order online, and I needed to get that packed. John was actually coming home later this day, and he was going to go to the post office, so I was trying to find a box. I thought this coffee box was going to work, but I had a couple other options, and we have brown paper, so I thought I could cover it. So I had sold these four, this set of four like vintage fall kind of, I called them fall glasses because they're kind of have the fall colors. I loved these at one point, but I just never used them, and so I thought I should put them up for sale, and then maybe somebody else could use them and love them, and that's exactly what happened. So yeah, so I thought they were gonna fit. I did really love these glasses. They actually came with two smaller ones too, but I broke one by accident. But unfortunately the box just felt, I probably could have fit it maybe, but it was just feeling a little too snug for me. So I had second thoughts about trying to do that. I like to use a lot of paper, like we just recycle our flyers. We keep all of that, and then some bubble wrap as well, but it just felt a little too, I'm always like so scared things are gonna break, so I like to use a lot. So I used one of my boxes that I keep pre-made like when I'm listing orders, but I'll just have to, we just did a big box order, so I knew that I would be able to replace that one. But anyway, I just used this kitchen scale to like weigh everything. And I think they're around $15 I sold them for, but I'm having a 25% off sale. I think it actually ends today, but so whatever 25% off of that was. So I had actually cleaned the top of it with some Goo Gone because it had a sticker residue on it. Well, it still had part of the sticker on it and sticker residue, but then John ended up like vacuuming it out with a vacuum attachment because it's all kind of felt material inside. But Goo Gone works great. It lasts forever too. I've had that bottle for over 10 years. But John brought some, he stopped and bought a few groceries on his way home, and he ended up getting me more of the candy cane K-cups because I loved them so much. And last year they were sold out by the time I even realized they were a thing. So just got some romaine and some matzah. He stopped at the health food store and got this Parmesan wedge, which I had seen when we were there a few days before or a week before. I wanted to make some Caesar salad. I wanted some really nice parm to put on top, so did that. I got a red onion for the Caesar as well, and then yeah, he got 3 more boxes. He said that's all that was there, so he bought them all for me. And I think I'm almost through 1 box already, and it's not even Halloween yet. They're so good. And then we've also been getting, this is I think the second or third time we got it, but it's this big bag filled with produce of different, like an assortment for $5. It's like things that are like going to go bad soon, or I think also things that don't like are a little more imperfect looking. So, but to me, that doesn't matter. So they basically just take a photo of it, so you can kind of see what's in there, but you don't really know for sure exactly what you're getting until you get it home. But basically I just kind of looked at all of the different pictures and picked one that I thought had what I could use that week for produce, and it's way cheaper. Like for a triple pack of those peppers here is usually $6.99, so it's a big saving. So I got a bunch of onions, apples. There's usually always potatoes in the bottom too. It's probably the equivalent of like 3 to 5 pounds of potatoes, which that would be more than $5 itself. So it ends up working out pretty well, especially if you just kind of plan around what you get, like what meals to make. So I also got a lemon, a bunch of apples, and then yeah, a bunch of potatoes and some mini cucumbers as well. So we love eating like raw vegetables, so it worked out pretty well. I would say to buy all this produce would probably be like $25 at least. Groceries are pretty expensive where we live, but I did get some more stamps for my card, so I'm actually working on my 3rd card now. but this took it to only needing one more stamp for the second card. So yeah, I'm on my third card now, and I only want 3 things in case you missed the last video. If you get a full card, then you can get like cookware with it for a really discounted price. And while I was doing all of my like cleaning and different things today, I was listening to this Christmas playlist that I made. I've been feeling so much in the Christmas mood and spirit the last couple of weeks. It's just, I can't wait. I do love Halloween too, but I'm really, really excited for Christmas this year. So I can't wait to get started. John had brought me this energy drink when he came home too, because I was like, I feel so tired, but I want to get so much stuff done. So for dinner that night, I was making some Chinese food. So I had a bunch of vegetables I had already cut up for stir fry, and then I made some rice. Usually I like to make the rice the day before to give it some time, but I just was like, oh, I'll just make it in the morning, and I just stuck it in the fridge for as long as I could before I made the fried rice. And then I also had these like cauliflower, like breaded cauliflower I'd made a few weeks ago in the freezer, so I was just gonna turn them, and I was gonna cook them in this cherry sauce to kind of make like, I don't know what they're called, like chicken balls, I guess. Sort of replicate that. And then there was enough left over for the next day. So we're just having that for dinner, and we're gonna watch a movie. I was so excited that John was home. So we're watching, on this night, I believe we watched a Betty Davis movie called The Nanny. Yeah, you can tell by the opening there. Which I had not seen before, but was so good. It was a movie she made when she was older, so I want to say it was probably in the 60s, but I had never seen it before, but it was so good. And then I was cuddling with Marley, but I used some hand cream, and Marley, as you can see, she just immediately was like, nope. She just walked to the end of the bed and laid down there. I usually do it right before it's like the last thing I do before I go to sleep, because I don't want to like pet her or anything, because she doesn't like it. But I don't know, I used it, and then not really thinking about it, but so she just went down there. She didn't want to be close to me after that. This is the next morning now, but look how cute she is. She's so cute. I put this little Star Wars blanket on the bed. Like, I don't know, it's been a couple weeks now, I think. And she just loves it. That's where she's always sleeping. She's actually sleeping there right now next to me as I record this. But yeah, she's always on that blanket now. She barely even sleeps in the chair anymore. She's just always on the blanket. Now, the bad thing is I can never make my bed because I don't want to disturb her, so I just kind of leave it. And then I looked at the window and I saw that Loki was outside. Someone had mentioned recently asked about Loki. Yeah, he's all grown up now. I guess he's like about a year old. He is only allowed out on like a little, like a leash. I don't know if leash is the right word. You know, he gets like tied out so that he can't like run away and he's a very mischievous cat. So for now, that's how he's able to go outside. So it's kind of blurry because I had to zoom in to be able to show him, but yeah, so he's doing good. But yeah, I'm having another candy cane coffee, and on this day I really wanted to do some work on my like Etsy store. So I made a plan. I was in the mood to do it, to go down and work on that. So I decided when I got down there, like I just grabbed my planner and everything and my coffee, that I should just tidy up down there and get organized before I try to start photographing anything or listing anything. I have these lights that I use to try and kind of brighten up the photos, but they need to be charged. So I was getting those charged. I was getting everything all like cleaned up and organized and tidied because I just kind of dump stuff down here a lot because I don't make it a priority, or it's like the last priority, I guess, over other things. So I was like all caught up on my YouTube like editing and stuff, so I was like I should just take a couple days and work on that, because I have a bunch of Christmas stuff too that I'd like to get up. Like I have so many boxes of things that I bought to resell that are just sitting in boxes. So I've been making some time to work on that, and it feels really good to be getting it done. So I'm very happy I got started on it, because now that I've got it started, it feels easier to work on it more often. But I have these planners, these vintage planners from the 50s and 60s. They're like flower related. I bought them from this woman, I don't know, she's probably in her 80s, at a yard sale, I think last year. She just had them and never used them. She just wanted them for the photos because she was really into flower arranging, which I thought was so cute. I haven't decided whether or not I should sell them or keep them. You can reuse calendars, so I had figured out which years I could reuse them as, but I'm thinking that I could use them as like gratitude journals at some point, so I'm still thinking about it. But I also wanted to print off more of these to-do lists that I made, because I've just been writing like to-do lists in random places. So I did that while I was down there, and then I can punch them and then they can fit inside my planner. So I like to make a to-do list like kind of last thing at night, because it makes me feel calmer, like I have things off my mind. And then I found this recipe I had printed. This is like my grandma's recipe that my mom had actually typed out for me and emailed me years and years ago, like probably 15 years ago. I want to do a bunch of baking. It was one of my favorite things. I feel like my grandma would say that to myself every year, and then I don't end up doing it because I don't start early enough. This year I think I'm going to start decorating really early so that the decorating part is out of the way, and then I can have time for baking. I don't know. Anyway, so I worked on that all morning and I got it all cleaned up, which was lovely. John had gone to the store because this Impossible beef was on sale, and I wanted to get some for the freezer. He was also able to find this gravy that is vegan. It's super hard to find for some reason, but I like to just keep a few in the basement. And then I was really craving a bagel with cream cheese, so I was like, hey, when you go out to the store, you should get some bagels. So these are the kind of bagels I eat. They're like gluten-free by Odo's, and then he just got some everything bagels for himself. I also was out of, this is the pills I like to use when I have a migraine. I find they pretty effective quickly, so I never want to be out of those. And because I was working all morning on that stuff, he just picked up these wedges for us to have for a lunch, and I actually just took them back down to the office and just ate down there while I continued to work. And of course Marley woke up and she was not happy, so I went and got this folding chair and I got her a blanket and I put that chair next to mine so that she would feel included. She was screaming her head off when she realized that I was downstairs in the basement, but eventually she did lay down. She's facing away from me though, so that she lets me know she's not pleased, but she did stay there for quite some time. So since I had spent the morning getting everything cleaned up and organized, I was able to spend the afternoon actually like focused on photographing and listing things. So I kind of made a little list of what I wanted to put up first and all that. So I set up my little photographing area here. The great thing about doing it down here is I can just leave it all, but I got this entire shelf photographed and listed, which was very, very great. And then I kind of set up this second shelf as what I wanted to photograph the next day. So I pretty much just worked down there like the same hours that John was working. So then when he got done work at 4:30, we're just gonna eat some dinner together and watch another movie. We're watching the movie Sudden Fear, which I had also not seen before, and it was so good. That was a Joan Crawford movie, and that was part of like Creepy Cinema this year on TCM. So we're just having that little bit of leftovers, and then John had bought some chips to have as a snack. So did that. We also, when we watch movies down here, we give Marley some cat treats so she feels included. So that's what that was. She was eating some cat treats, and then I remembered that we had got an Amazon package with food for Marley. This is like the food that she can eat that doesn't really bother her, but for some reason our grocery store doesn't sell just individual kinds in cases, so she can't eat anything with poultry in it, which all of the ones they sell in the grocery store generally have a poultry one in it. So I've been able to just order them from Amazon, so I was able to give her a kind that she hadn't had in a little while, so she was quite pleased with that. And I usually just feed her at the top of the stairs because she likes being able to, she's very weird about eating, so I find she eats more when her food is kind of there. I think she waits until we go to sleep and then she goes out and eats all of her food. It's really funny. But, you know, whatever she wants, she gets pretty much at this point in her life. So I'll just bend my life around her wants and stuff. So anyway, after the movie was over, John's been watching baseball a lot in the evening. So I just went upstairs, and since I had been working, I hadn't watched General Hospital from that day. So lately that's what I've been doing, is at night when John's watching the baseball, I just go upstairs and get in bed and watch the General Hospital episode with Marley before I go to sleep. So now it's the next morning. I'm having my coffee in bed with Marley. It's basically the only way that she stays calm in the morning because I wake up so early. It's like 4 in the morning. And if I didn't do this, even if I take too long making my coffee, she starts crying and she'll wake John up. And, you know, not everybody wants to get up at 4 in the morning. So we just hang out in bed together, and I have my coffee. Sometimes I'll edit videos, or I'll read, or whatever. Sometimes I'll watch videos or something, but it's kind of a nice meditative experience, just hanging out with your cat. Now, since I had, been working all day the previous day, I hadn't done a lot of cleaning, and I just went to bed without doing the dishes, which I hate doing, but I just felt tired, and I was like, I'll do it in the morning, which I regret it when I saw them in the morning. But we're having a bagel, which I was so excited about. It's been a really long time since I had one, and then I just put some everything seasoning on. But after we ate, I just got the kitchen cleaned right away because it was bugging me. So it was only 8:30, and I had done some other cleaning because I really wanted to get back down and keep on working on the Etsy stuff, but I didn't want to like leave the house not clean. So I was like, I'm just going to power clean everything so I can get back down and work on that. So then at lunch, I was just making us a really easy, quick lunch because obviously I was like wanting to stay down there and work as long as I could. So we were just having some of these Beyond sausage and some mac and cheese, which ended up being a lovely meal. I had got the sausage because I wanted to use it in a pasta, so I cooked all 4, but we just had 1 each, and then I saved the other 2 for the pasta. And so Marley joined me again downstairs after dinner. She is so cute. She was not happy though at all, but she stayed there and laid down for a while. So for dinner, I just made a Caesar salad. I had already had some Caesar dressing, like homemade, made in the fridge that I wanted to use up. So we just ate dinner. We didn't watch a movie, and then we cleaned up the kitchen together. Of course, I'm having another candy cane coffee. It's honestly so good. So good. Yeah, they're like compostable pods too, which is nice. But yeah, I decided not to watch a movie because I wanted to continue to photograph stuff for the evening. So I was like, let's just eat dinner and then I'm gonna go back downstairs and keep working to see how much more I could get done. Now that I've gotten started, it doesn't feel so overwhelming, even though I have a ton of boxes filled with stuff still. It doesn't feel as overwhelming now that I have a place to do it, that I don't need to like pack up and put away every day. I can just leave it out. And yeah, I don't know, it feels good. But I was able to, this whole entire underneath the table I'm working on was filled with boxes, but I was able to get a bunch of it photographed. So I have like a box filled with mugs and one for glasses. And then as I'm unboxing things, I can just decide whether or not, like some things I've just set aside for donation that I don't feel like are worth it, but I'm able to just use this bookshelf to kind of categorize things together, like different mugs. Mugs are actually one of the things that sell the best for me. I actually just sold one last night that I almost didn't post because I was like, I don't know if anybody would want to buy this. So I should probably stop doubting myself. And then I have a shelf here where I'm still deciding whether or not I'm going to sell this stuff, but I'm honestly leaning towards selling most of it. I just have so much and I don't like clutter, so I feel like I don't have enough room realistically in my house for all of the vintage things that I own. So I need to be like selective about what I can realistically keep. But this whole area here that's empty now was filled with boxes, like stacked three high, I think, so at least 6 boxes. Now I do have the hole under the stairs is also filled with boxes, so I'm not out of the clear yet, but we're getting there. So I was feeling quite happy. Marley had resigned herself to the fact that we were spending time in the basement, so she hunkered down. And yeah, I ended up, I think, just finishing here with these mugs. And I basically almost cleared that full shelf. I just had a few mugs left there, but those are so similar, they'll be easy to list together. So I was ready to go upstairs and go to bed. I gave Marley some catnip. I almost said cat food. I gave her a little bit of catnip on the carpet. I wasn't sure what she would do, but she started rolling around in it, which was really cute. So then by the time I got upstairs, she was waiting in the chair for me, but I knew as soon as I got in bed, I was gonna watch General Hospital again like I did the night before. As soon as I got in bed, I knew that she would get up on the bed with me. It's super cute. As soon as I get like under the covers, she's like, oh, it's time for bed. She has to get up on her Star Wars blanket. Such a sweetheart of a cat. So the next morning, I knew that I was going to take a break from like doing Etsy things because I wanted to get some food prep done and make sure I was using up all the produce that we had got so it didn't go to waste. So I had a big list of all the things I wanted to do in that regard, and then I wanted to get some cleaning done that I had neglected over the last 2 days because I was spending like my whole day in the basement working on Etsy. But I've got the 2 sausages for the pasta, and that's where I was going to use the peppers. I was also making a tofu egg salad, so I had some celery and red onion cut up for that. I had the tofu pressing underneath the cutting board while I was cutting up all the vegetables, so had some mayonnaise for that. I was going to use this sour cream to make more of the veggie dip, but it ended up being that it was going bad, so I just scrapped that. But I had some hummus, so I just used hummus instead, but we were going thrifting the next day, and then we were gonna go to the drive-in. We didn't end up being able to do that, so I was like packing us these little lunches to take in the car, but then we didn't end up taking them because our plans changed a little, and then I had forgot that I had done that, but that's all right. But I ended up getting all of that done, aside from the dip that I couldn't make, but I was feeling good that all that stuff was done. Of course, we're having more candy cane coffee. I'm probably gonna need to get more than the 3 extra boxes John bought, because I've been drinking it like pretty much every day, and it's only October. It's like the perfect, I don't know, it's just the perfect festive drink. So anyway, John had to go take care of a dog, and he stopped at the store on the way because I was telling him that I was really craving soup now that the weather is getting colder, and he also got this kind of cream cheese because we had eaten all of the previous one he had bought. So I decided I wasn't feeling the greatest after I got all that done, so I just decided I was going to take a bath, which I almost never do because our bathtub is so tiny. It's just not as enjoyable, but I was happy that I took it. I should do it more now that the weather's cooler. So I took my bath, and then after that I had enough time to watch General Hospital before I was gonna make dinner. So I was gonna make a more elaborate pasta, but I still wasn't feeling the greatest, so I just went with something a little easier. But I sauteed my veggies and my sausage, and I had some tofu in there as well for extra protein, kind of like a chicken, diced chicken kind of vibes. And I was just gonna make a really like lazy rosé sauce. So I had this pre-made sauce in a can, and I'm just using the coffee cream we use. I think you would use like heavy whipping cream traditionally, but which you can get a vegan version of that, but you know, we just had the coffee cream, so I'll just use that. I find it works fine. I don't really measure it at all. I just keep adding a little bit and kind of combine it together until it looks how I want it to. And I usually always add extra seasoning to pre-made sauce because I just feel like it's not as good. Like I usually add a lot of garlic, oregano, basil, kind of the usual things you would add. But we're just having a little piece of sourdough garlic toast with that, and I had kind of grated like large flakes of parm on top, and it was so good. It's so comforting. There's nothing like a bowl of pasta. It's like ultimate comfort food. But we're gonna watch another movie on TCM Creepy Cinema. Marley was trying to get to John's pasta. It was so funny. I think we ended up giving her some treats, but we're watching a movie called In This Our Life, which is a Betty Davis movie, which I hadn't seen that one before either, and it was so good. I really liked it. It might be one of my favorite Betty Davis movies, actually. It's so hard though because she made so many, and I don't think I've seen all of them, but it was very good. I'm thoroughly enjoying Creepy Cinema. Like, it's been the highlight of this month. On this day, we were going out thrifting for the day, and I went upstairs to get my purse, and there was little Marley. She was so cute. So we're having a bagel before we're leaving. We're leaving pretty early in the morning. I love this cream cheese so much. So yeah, we left before 8 in the morning, and it's weird, we had gone out the week before, so it was only a week later, and it was crazy how much the trees had changed even in just that week. But it's just so pretty where we live, especially because there's just so much undeveloped land, so there's so many trees and just lovely. We're going to the clothing store that we always go to, and they had these painted pumpkins, which were so cute. They had another one too, but I didn't film it. So we haven't been having a ton of luck lately, but I did find a couple shirts from a brand that sells well. And then I found this shirt that I've never heard of this brand before, but it just looked very different. So I I usually put like definite things in the cart and then maybe things outside of the cart. We went to Value Village, which I did film a thrift with me, which will be coming. And then by that time it was lunch, so we went to KFC to get their plant-based chicken sandwich, which is so good. I swear. Well, maybe you could tell the difference, but for me it's almost like scary realistic. And then we went to the grocery store because there was something I wanted that they don't have in our grocery store, because we live in a smaller area. So while we were there, John was like, well, do you want to look and see if they have candles? Because he knows my struggle of trying to find fall candles and being super disappointed. So he's like, well, we can see if they have Christmas candles out. So so sweet. We did end up finding Christmas candles. We found a bunch and I was so happy. John was like, just get as many as you want. So I got a lot. I think I got like 10 maybe. So I'm very well stocked, which makes me very happy because I thought I might not have any Christmas candles for when I start Christmas decorating. So after we left there, we went to another thrift store, which I'm gonna include in this video because it's not really big enough to make its own thrift with me video, but they have all these cards when you first walk in. It took me like a while to realize this, but well, I guess maybe not all of them, but most of the cards on this thing are actually just recycled cards. Like you can tell that the card was probably used and they just cut out the parts that you could reuse and then put it on this cardstock, which I actually feel like is a pretty great idea. Like cards, when you think about it, are super wasteful. It's like this fleeting moment. I guess people save cards maybe, but like even saving them, I don't know, it's weird. Anyway, moving on. I saw this ice cream maker, which I thought was really funny because we just saw one in one of the last Thrift With Me videos. And I told a story about wanting an ice cream maker and my grandma like getting one, and me like being a little kid was like, you got my ice cream maker. It's just a funny story in our family. And somebody left a comment saying that my grandma was mean for not giving me the ice cream maker. And I just thought that was so funny because no, not at all. That's not how it was. And then I looked over and I saw this Pyrex Cinderella Town and Country. And I'll be honest, I was expecting to see like $25 on this. It's the biggest Cinderella. I think it's a 444. It's in great shape. I think Town and Country was 1960s, so I mean it's fairly old. It was $12. And then I looked up and saw this Pyrex cookie jar for $5. I was like, what is happening today? I actually already had like the cookie jar and the Cracker Barrel, but I knew that one of them, the gold was worn off and I couldn't remember which one. So since it was only $5, John was like, let's get it. And if it's the cracker that's worn off, whatever. But so I got it, and actually it was the cookie jar that all the gold is worn off. So now I have a cookie one where the gold is not worn off. And I'm just feeling very happy. And I can't believe I found it for $5. Like I see really crappy, not in great shape at all, like just shitty Pyrex for more than $12. So I couldn't believe that happened. So I was very excited. I got the Cinderella bowl and I got the cookie jar. This thrift store is kind of hit or miss. It used to be really, really great, I think. And then the prices started going up on a lot of things. And I feel like once that happened, it started to get really like the shelves are almost too full. And I think it's probably because things are sitting for a long time, or maybe they just need to get more shelves. I don't know. It's not as enjoyable of an experience, I guess. When I saw this little lunchbox cooler, it like totally unlocked a memory. I remember a lot of people having these when I was a kid. I didn't have one. I usually would just walk home for lunch. But then I saw this pizza stone, and it's funny because I just bought the exact same one at Value Village, like right before we went to the store. It was still new in the package. I'm not sure if this one was new or not, but I did pay $20 at Value Village, and that one was $15. But I just thought, what are the chances I would see the exact same pizza stone? It's weird. But anyway, we're home now. It was a really pleasant day. We had gone to another thrift store, and I filmed a thrift with me as well. But I got a bunch of stamps because we had got so many candles. But I think I'm just going to show all the candles like when I start decorating for Christmas, which I was thinking I could just vlog that. And I'm gonna start really soon, so like after Halloween. But Marley was happy that her parents were home. She's so cute. I feel so bad when we leave her. But we're gonna watch a movie, another creepy cinema movie. This one is called Sisters. I had never seen that one before either. I think it was from 1972, but it was very creepy. But while we were watching that, we were both still really full from the KFC, so we didn't like have anything for dinner that night. But while we were watching the movie, I usually plastic canvas, and I had made this little kind of holder. The back part can hold remotes, but the front part, like I made a little lid, and it just lifts up, and I can keep like hand cream, chapstick, stuff like that in there, because I usually just have it loose. So I just made that to keep everything contained and organized. So I just finished it while we were watching the movie. And then John was going to watch some baseball. It was around 7 o'clock, I think. Yeah. And I didn't want to go upstairs and get in bed because I've been falling asleep super early, and then I've been waking up earlier and earlier every day. So like I was waking up at like 2:30 for the day. So been trying to force myself to stay up later, so I came upstairs to grab another I call them kits. I like cut all the pieces that I need to make more tissue holders. I think there's like 6 or 7. So I just came up to grab what I need to make another one, grab my little thing, and then Marley followed me downstairs. So I thought John was gonna watch baseball, and I thought I'll just watch. I asked him if he minded if I watched a movie on the smaller TV down there, so he said he didn't mind. So I decided to watch Edward Scissorhands. I usually like to watch that movie around this time of year. It's not necessarily a Halloween movie, but I just, for some reason, I watch it around this time every year, so I hadn't watched it yet this year. This is actually like, I think it's my favorite Tim Burton film. But I ended up watching that and just working on starting a new tissue box cover. And Marley's so adorable. She was like, "Mom, why are you still down here? Let's go to bed." But it's next morning, Sunday morning. We're wanting to have a really cozy day. I made the fried breakfast potato bowls. I used up some of the potatoes and the onions and peppers from the like $5 produce. I like having orange juice when I have breakfast. And we're watching a movie. We're watching a movie called The Brass Bottle, which is from the 60s or maybe late 50s. I can't remember. I love this movie so much. It's such a cute movie. It was actually the inspiration for the I Dream of Jeannie TV show. And actually Barbara Eden is in the movie, but she's not playing the genie. So we watched that and loved it. It was John's first time seeing it. And then, yeah, so I'm just showing you I did get the bowl. I'm so excited about this. I can't believe, like, it's in such great condition. This is a mug, a Christmas mug that John bought as well when we got the candles the other day. It gives me like a little bit of like Scandinavian vibes. But I thought it was really cute. So we're having I was having some soup and egg salad sandwich for dinner on sourdough. I was toasting my bread, and we were going to watch another movie. I don't think I showed it, but John didn't want to have soup. He opted to have Mr. Noodles. And we ended up watching Belle, Book, and Candle, which is also a super cute movie that actually was one of the movies that inspired Bewitched, and stars Jimmy Stewart and Kim Novak. And it was John's first time seeing that movie too, and he liked it. But I like that movie too. It's very cute. Those two movies kind of go together in my mind. But anyway, that was it for week 4 of Vlogtober. I think I'm just gonna put the last few days of October, like including Halloween, into a vlog. And yeah, like I said, I think I'm gonna start decorating pretty soon after Halloween for Christmas. And I thought maybe I could just vlog all of that. I put up a lot of stuff, so it does usually take me like a few days at least to do it, so I'll maybe just post that. But I do have a few more Thrift With Me videos that I filmed that will probably go up before the last part of Vlogtober. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.